It doesn't matter what we have to release, because it'll always be worth gaining yourself. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
Let's go, my sister.
Yes. Listen, I want to say welcome to the Driven Healing the Matters of the Heart globally show, wherever you are tuning in. Today, we have a special guest all the way from South Carolina.
Indeed,
Oh,
indeed.
yes.
Country is in the house.
Yes, but listen, I need y'all to grab y'all tea, grab y'all coffee, grab whatever it is that you need to stay hydrated. And also do me a favor, make sure you share this video, tag your family member, tag your sister, your cousin, your friend. It does not matter, because we have the coach's coach in the building, the creative coach, Coach Carrie. Welcome, Coach Carrie.
Yes, what an introduction. I feel special. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. You should feel special because you are special.
Yes, I received that. I
Yes,
received.
yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, so I can't wait for everybody else to realize who Coach Carrie is, because listen, this is my sister, this is my colleague,
Okay.
and yes, she is a certified life coach as well.
Sure.
Yeah, so I'm glad she's in the building with us today. And so the good thing about technology, you could be anywhere to share your story. We just want to make
Mm,
sure that you tell your story using your own words. So
right, absolutely.
yeah, so if
Hmm.
you have not done so just yet, make sure you follow us on Facebook at The Driven Healing the Matters of the Heart Globally Show, because we welcome everybody, because we realize we all been through something, we're all going through something, and we have all overcome something. So
Come on.
let's bring new life.
Hmm.
Let's share our stories, and let's heal the world together. And I don't know if y'all see my shirt, but we're talking about love. Today is a love day. Today is a day of change. Today is a day of believing. Today is a day of creativity. So thank you guys.
Yes, that's awesome. I want to get up and run, be like, yeah.
Right, because that's what I want people to realize. Like, when somebody is telling their story, this is the space for them to be safe, to be able to express themselves. And I know
Right.
you are a creative genius, so I don't want to hold you with just, oh, Carrie, this is Therese, how are you today? That's not me. That's not
All
me.
right.
Right. So there you go. Two life coaches in the building, and we just gonna bring our energy so people can see
Absolutely.
stuff, right? Okay.
Hmm.
So, Coach Carrie, can you tell us what makes you driven by your
I would
purpose?
say the
Mm,
one thing that keeps me the most driven is the excitement I get getting to know myself. Like, it's been such a amazing journey, just my life, and really truly getting to know who I am. Because I just, it was almost like it was a foreign concept, when I heard people saying like, oh, when I came to myself, or oh, I had an awakening. I'm like, you've been yourself your whole life. But it truly is something that happens within a person at any given point in time, where you are revealed to yourself in just a whole different way, a whole different light. And it's really when you realize the power that you have to really create the type of life you want to live. And that is what drives me. I just want to see how far I can push my capabilities in order to provide the life I want to live, be an example that others can do the same thing, and just have no restrictions on any ideas that I have for myself. So yeah, that's what drives me to my purpose, and which my purpose is to just really hold a space and push that capacity of change for people, because we don't plateau. We don't plateau. Our life ends, but we don't plateau. So we have to always keep pushing the barrier, pushing the edges, pushing the page, pushing the box, the squares, the circles, whatever you find yourself in, push those boundaries and reveal yourself to yourself over and over again, because we're boundless. That was a mouthful. That was
Hold on. She about to make me run, jump, and shout because she just look, this message is already over. Did you hear? Did you hear what I just said? The message is already over
yeah.
because she's a messenger. She had a message for you. She came and she brought
Mm,
it. So I
mhm.
hope you guys are paying attention because
Yes.
so many times we allow fear, we allow anxiety, we allow people, we allow
Mm,
things, and limited beliefs stop us from finding out
we
who we
do. Yeah.
discovering that we can be great because we are great.
Yeah.
We have limitless boundaries, but because of society, but
Come on.
because of religion, but because of things that have been set in place, now we forget who we were called to be
Right. Right.
in the first place. So,
Right.
Carrie, thank you for dropping
Mhm.
20,000 jewels just then and sending the message because
Absolutely.
we needed it.
Yeah.
Woo,
Hmm. Yeah.
woo, girl, I'm on fire. So, can you tell us
Mhm.
who is Coach Carrie?
Who is Coach Carrie? Well, Coach
Who
Carrie,
is
and
Carrie?
I'm about to, right. I was about to break that down. I was about to break it down. Like, there are
Who
many
is Carrie?
facades to
Yes.
who I am. And we all have facades. And I think we all sometimes we feel a little guilty and we put too much pressure on ourselves for having to be different people in different spaces. But that's just who we are. We are all different shades of us. So the me that I am in church is not the me that I am hanging out with my homies. The me that I am hanging out with my homies is not the me that I am hanging out with my mama. But all of those things are genuinely me. And that was one of the realizations that I came to. So like exactly, and I could tell you called it right in that very moment. You're like, who is Coach Carrie? You're like, wait, no. Who is Carrie?
Yeah,
Coach
who?
Carrie is just a shade of Carrie. You know what I mean? So this is what I mean by you being revealed to yourself over and over again, because I used to be, retail store manager Carrie, but when I came into the coaching industry, it was revealed to me that even within me being in the retail industry, I was still Coach Carrie.
Mm.
But I just graduated to really figure out who I was and in what capacity. And even since I've been a coach, my niche has evolved as well.
Yes.
So when you're talking about the religion and the societal pressures and stuff like that, those are the boxes, the squares, the triangles, whatever shape you want to imagine yourself in. Those are the things that we
Mhm.
put ourselves in those boxes, or we choose to stay there. So when I say being revealed to myself over and over again, Coach Carrie being a shade of who I am, that was revealed to me, and I chose to step outside of whatever the retail box was and step into whatever the coaching box was. But the thing that we have to understand about boxes and stuff and the rules and the confinements is we choose them for ourselves. We choose them for ourselves. But while either what we call ourselves or
Mhm.
what we allow ourselves to be called. Now, I allow people to call me Coach Carrie because I know that is a shade of me that is very suiting to other people. However, in the background, I have to know that these are labels that are attached to like desk and doors and things and tangible things. But what is attached to me? It's just different shades of just who I am. And that's okay. So we ask who Carrie is. Carrie is a lot of different things, and they're all great. They're all great. Hmm.
Listen, she educated me today, educated us today. So it's you are Carrie,
I
but you
am.
have many shades.
Oh, yeah.
And like you said, it's whatever you allow people to call you. So just like the label, because sometimes we can get attached to them labels.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you might be this, oh, you might be that, but is that what you
Mhm.
believe you are? Are you
Right.
stay stuck there? Are you gonna rise up? Because you said something, you said as a person, you evolved, your niche evolved. So you
Hmm.
started off as this, a retailer, you're a manager. Then you
Right.
just, got experience and
Right.
traveled on your journey. So I love this. Like, I'm so
Hmm.
glad you decided to join us on today because of
Hmm.
the perspective that you're bringing. You're
Right.
dropping so many different jewels. Like I said, you already preach. So now you're giving us a dessert. No,
I love
that was the
love
full course meal. I'm gonna say you gave us all at the beginning.
all of that.
Yeah, because so many times, look, people don't have these conversations. This is
Right.
a great conversation to have, and I love the fact that you are who you are.
Yeah.
So
And me
thank
too. And that's not in a boastful way. Because I want to, anyone who's listening right now, anyone who is feeling like pressure from, well, I don't care if it's from your husband, your mama, your brother, your dog, your children, your coworkers, your family, you know, give yourself some grace. Figure you are a work in progress. We all say this and we say those cute things like God ain't finished with me yet. I'm a work in progress. I'm like a fine wine. I get better with time. But then you sit in your homes and in your secret innermost parts and you think, why can't I figure this out and what's wrong with me? Well, if you get better with time and you like a fine wine, it means that you are always and constantly and forever in a process. Don't rock the thing that make you fine. Time does that. You on your way to finer and finer and finer. And this is just a level of that. So just embrace who you are. No apologies for making mistakes no more. Just be like, what is the lesson that I'm going to learn? And how is this going to reveal me to me so that I can see whether I chose this box or not? And if I didn't choose it, now that I'm at the awareness to where I am and I can see things differently, now I have the power to choose. And you can choose to stay or you can choose to leave. But realize it's always your choice. Always.
Listen, so y'all ever heard that terminology? A coach has a coach. So I want y'all to know, Coach Carrie is my coach. When I say this genius, because that's the label I gave her. She's a genius.
Uh-huh.
She's a genius to me. She's my coach, creative coach. So when I say I love her energy, I love this about her because she gets you to see things from a new perspective. And if you in your same box, your same way of
Mhm.
thinking, you're never going to come out. But
Right.
but she just
Yeah.
said you have the power to come
Yeah.
out. You have the power to think differently. You have
Mhm.
the power to realize like I can change. Or you
Yeah.
stay the same. Because that's what I gathered from that whole
That's what it
that
boils down to.
thank
Mhm.
you. Thank you. Thank
Mhm.
you. So listen, can you tell us what are some of the things that you do? Because I know we know you're a certified life coach, but what else do you do?
Okay, yeah. So I am a certified ICF certified creative development coach. And what I do is I just the ICF, you throw them on it.
I forgot. We are
Throw
ICF.
them on there. Yeah, we are, girl. So, but other than just doing coaching, which I help people bring their ideas to life, because if you come to me with an idea, it's the best idea I've ever heard, and we running with it. So if you don't want someone to believe in your idea, don't tell your idea to me, because I'm a believer in it. So anyway, so other than that, I am the owner of ATBA Impact Group, which is on the way to being a nonprofit organization to where we help. This is really where my passion strikes. I really want to go into communities and build, first of all, the biggest community center in the world. And the reason why it's going to do that is because it's going to be the community centers networking amongst themselves, so that we can't only bring people into buildings, but we can cultivate people that's going to go out into the community and infiltrate the community in a way to where more people come in, so more people go out. And it's just going to be a crescendo of positive dispatches, so to
Mm.
speak. Because my new motto for, because one of my passions is um and I'm working on this, and maybe you can help me, because I know one of your passions is helping assist homeless people. But I don't want to call them homeless. Like, I don't know, there's got to be a better word. And it's just displaced. I don't want to call them that, because they're not displaced. They just need something or someone. So my new motto is, when the bellies are filled, we will feed the mind.
When the bellies are filled, we
Yes.
will feed the mind.
Yes, we will. Because it's that mindset that keeps people homeless because we're labeling them and constantly call them something that we're trying to get them away from. So we got to deal with our mindset and figure out, call them Fred and Susan and Gary and Larry and Chuck and Rita, and call them who they are and say, what is it that you need? What block do you have? So I want to cultivate a community of like-minded people, professionals, coaches, engineers, teachers, science, all STEM work, all those things, so that these people have some free resources so that they can come and work on their mindset and get out of the impoverished mindset so that they too can realize they got a right to still dream. They may not have a home, but if you got a dream, we can work with that. So
Mm.
that is what ATBA is going to be all about.
Listen, as you were talking, because you said you want me to help, guess what? I am
Mhm.
willing to help you with that so we can come up with a creative name
Yeah,
to give them a sense of belong. They'll feel
right.
they belong to the community because
Mm-hmm.
they are our community members. Just because they don't have
Mm-hmm.
a home, because
Mm-hmm.
they're displaced, something caused them to be displaced. So we got to
Right,
get to the root of the problem.
right,
I love that you said you're going to bring
right.
all of the different tiers together, like
Mm-hmm.
professional, the STEM, so the
Mm-hmm.
everything that they need to function. So like giving them a job, but not
Yes.
just the money, but showing them like how to do basic life skills. So
Mm-hmm.
manage their money, how to like, go to the doctors, and just how to get everything that they
Yeah.
need, not the doctors, but you know what I mean, just how to
Uh-huh.
live their day to
That
day.
too, though. So some of them don't know that because a lot of the people that are living, the transient community, let's say that the transient community a lot of times start very young. So they don't know how to go to the doctor because they ain't been. I'm gonna tell you something. I didn't go to the dentist for the first time till I was 24 years old, and I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to fill out the paperwork. I didn't know about the insurance. I didn't know who to call. Like I was oblivious to this, and it's not because I wasn't raised in an amazing family, but I don't really think they knew too much about it either.
Oh wow.
You know,
So
like you can't teach somebody something you don't know, but we have to realize that as a community, and I'm talking about the entire globe, we have to realize that what we have is so valuable because we never know who don't know it. That's why it's so important to show up as yourself, uniquely you, every single day, because and let yourself be revealed to yourself and be that and go with that flow. It's because you never know what someone needs. And it may be exactly what you have, but you just take it for granted because it comes to connected to you. Something as simple as filling out a form at the doctor's office. You
mhm.
know, those are little workshops that we want to have, like just paperwork in general. You know, making sure you check in the right boxes, making sure you know the resources that you need in a community, making sure that you know that if there's assistance and grants and programs that could help you. It's making sure that what how your culture has an effect on your behavior. Because I do have one lady who's willing to do some in-kind hours for workshops, and she's an anthropologist. So she deals with the mind and the culture and how those two work together in order to form these habits, cultural habits that we have that we don't even realize we have. Sometimes it affects how we see other people. So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
But when I say you hitting on so much, like this stuff that is so critical and vital in this season, because like we are all going through so much. So we have the perfect opportunity to create the new structure, because
Right. We
structure,
do.
yeah, we do. And the structure has been broken for so long. So what I mean, the system, from
Hmm.
the governmental entities, from the
Right.
everything that we see. So
Right.
I
Right.
believe that even though you are in South Carolina, I'm here in Michigan. You
Hmm.
said community, so that's bringing unity across the
Everybody.
globe because it's necessary. So why not just try something new? Because I'm willing.
Right.
Like some of the ideas that you're saying, it's like some of them that's been on my heart already. So
Right.
let's create a structure and just see how it can work, because it can
Right.
flow. But people got to be willing to participate. We can
Right.
work in silos. So I don't
Right.
know if it's like that in your community, but it's like that here. So
Hmm.
maybe we can be the the change.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I see myself being, is really being a liaison for community centers. Like, so this person has a community center, you have a community center, and I'm looking at these two community centers and I'm like, they're really good at revitalizing, say, downtown and getting things together. And then these over here, your community center is really good at bringing people together. And I'm like, why don't the people in this one that you got the following go over here and help them build? And then the people over here who knows how to build can reciprocate and show the people who are willing, that has people showing up, how to do the same thing. Like, why can't community centers deal with the community, but why don't they deal with each other? You know?
That's $1 million question, because
Right.
like we be asking these questions and then people just be like, well, because so many times people just want their name on the lights or on a banner, and then they don't really want to do the work, or they
Right.
do the work and then they just want to make sure that the people that come see them get services.
Right.
We are a community and we all in the struggle together, especially I'm gonna say for my city, it's like 100 and something nonprofits, but we don't have a community center. Like for the family, the entire family to go to.
Gotcha.
Like you got
Gotcha.
some for seniors, you got some for kids, or one for kids and a couple for the seniors. So why not have one for the community? So if
Right.
we had that, then we could end some of the silo, because the smaller corporations or the smaller nonprofits can come together and work together, just
Right.
target different area. So it's just trying to create a system where we can all bring this thing together.
Right. 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 Yeah.
So
I
I love
love that.
Gary. So
Yeah.
just continue to work, and I'm going to do my part. So we'll talk after this.
Uh-huh.
Um, so tell us more. Like, so what made you get into everything that you're doing so far as the nonprofit, the coaching? Tell us your story. Tell us more about
Well, my story is, it's one, like, my story is your story. Your
you.
story is my story. Every story, begins with you being cultivated by the lessons of others. And what your mother says or your father says or whoever raised you, whoever your guardian was, we innately adopt their beliefs. We automatically eat what they eat. We go to church when they go to church, or not go to church because they don't go to church. We automatically tend to adopt the beliefs of the people that we are around 24/7 all the time. And for me, I grew up in the church, like deep, 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 deep in the church. I mean, I always say we went out of 7 days, we went to church 8. That's what I say. We went to church 8 days a week, right? Because, there was missionary, there was Bible study, there was choir practice, there was praise and worship practice, there was the deacon board. And because I was the youngest of 4 kids, I always had to go because there was no one to watch me and my sister, because my brothers were like 10 years older than us, so they were always gone. So, so just being raised in the church and like having this deep rooted in relationship with God, really. So when I got to the point where I realized that I was something and living in a way that my parents would see as embarrassing or shameful or things like that, I found myself at a point in life where I thought that it was easier for everyone involved if I were dead, so that, number one, they didn't have to deal with it, nor did I. And I held on to this for a very long time. And I really, up until this past year, really come to grips with what really happened. Because in that moment of me being suicidal, and in that moment of me, in the moments leading up to me taking my own life, my dad walked into the room. At that moment, he looked at me, I looked at him, and he said, "Oh, sorry, I didn't know anybody was in here," and he left. So I'm sitting here and I'm confused, because I'm like, okay, so you're not going to say anything, because even if you didn't see what I was doing, I was bawling my eyes out. So just that alone, you didn't say what's wrong, why you crying, what happened, nothing. And it was almost as like there was this knowing that I knew that he knew, and that to me at that moment in time, he didn't care. But that was very freeing to me. And I didn't realize how powerful that was and how freeing that was until this past year. Now, from then until now, like one of the things that I've always really, and I'm gonna come back to why that was so freeing. But from then until now, till about 2 years ago, I found myself on this mission to always be what was missing for me. And that was being seen, being heard, being validated, and being a friend, really being a friend, which is what my first coaching program was, is the BFF coach. That's what I was called, because I was like, you have to be your own best friend first. Because in that moment, I was thinking, you know, I have to be my own best friend because I have to be what I needed that I didn't get. And I loved my parents. Don't get me wrong. They were nice. We played basketball together, badminton, like there was stuff, but I love those moments so much because they were so seldom. Because a lot of time I was just by myself. My sister was boy crazy, so she didn't want nothing to do with me. My brothers are 10 years older than me, so at like from between 8 and 10, you got to think they're 18 and and older. So I just really didn't. It was just me. So I was just hanging out by myself. That's why I got this creative mind, because your girl will create a whole theme park for the kids on the road to come to. But I realized in my adult life, I was in this habit of always just being best friend, being the best friend, being the best friend, being the best friend, and wearing myself out because I always had to just be what I didn't have. Well, I started feeling just some kind of way about my dad. And I just really didn't understand, because he passed away in 2011. And it's almost like it's like this unfinished business. Like I never asked him, like, why didn't you say anything? Like, why didn't you just say anything at all? Just stand there. What are you doing? Ask, what are you doing? You know, anything. Right, right. But as I really came into myself and allowed myself to be revealed to myself, and saw that I was being that best friend for people and preaching that I needed to be that best friend for people, that I was always giving away that power to other people. But I had to take inventory and ask myself, how are you being a best friend to yourself? Like, how are you doing that? Because you're still putting everybody ahead of you. So you're preaching the right thing and you're being what you're telling them to be, but you're not being it for you. So my story really just blossomed in the past 2-3 years, because I started to see these things about me that I had done in order to fill a void for myself. And I was still filling that void by the attention I was getting from other people because I was there for them. And that felt good to me. And that filled me up. But that still meant I was filling myself up with the reaction of others. What if that reaction goes away? Then what do I do? What if they don't like it? What if they don't want to be my friend? And then I take that personally, because the only thing I was doing was what I felt like I needed to do in order for them to be friends with me. And I figured it's time to cut that out. What I've been telling people, to be a best friend to themselves, I have to be that for myself. And that is when I realized how much of a blessing it was when my dad walked out of that room. Because in that moment, that's when I originally got the power to make my own decisions. Because had he stopped me from taking my life, I would have been grateful to him. I did that. I saved me. I made the decision to do that. And like in my adult life, now that I see that, that's not powerful. That is power. Because he that is within me is greater than anything that can ever be in the world. And I have the power to create and curate my own life. I always had it. And it's so beautiful to be reminded of that I choose. I always had that power. I can always choose what I want. Yeah, that's my story. And I chose to live that day. And every lesson that I learned makes me want to choose bigger and choose wider and make the difficult decisions, like really difficult decisions, which is one that this is the first I've said this publicly. I don't know how I feel about it, but I'm going to say it because it came up for me. Through everything, these are the things that 2020 brought about for me. I had just came back from speaking right. I've met the most amazing people I've ever met in my life. Networking and everything's going good. And then freaking COVID comes. which, you know, code for me would, again, 2020 was the best year of my life because it really showed me to myself. But when they opened back up, I was like, I can't go back because I was such in my element and started my coaching business and started my video editing business. And y'all, this I am a living testament that you really can do anything if you just relinquish yourself to God's will and way in your life. Just go with the flow and listen for His instruction. I quit my job. I started 2 businesses, and then I cashed out my 401k. I had nothing lined up. My marriage was rocky at best. I'm in a position right now where me and my wife are going through a separation, and a lot of people don't know this, and this will be the first they've heard of that. And I apologize to Lori for not, you know, mentioning it to her first, that I was even gonna put it out there, but it doesn't matter what we have to release, because it'll always be worth gaining yourself. And that is a lesson that I've learned, is that no one is more important than me get to know who I am, because how can I show up otherwise? How can I? I'm sorry, y'all. I've always been a crybaby, always will be, and I like it. I'm learning to like it. Yes, indeed.
I love it because
My bad, girl. My bad. You know, I pulled the string, Devin. But you have to. You owe it to yourself. You deserve it. It's yours. It's your life. And if you don't live it, then who will? And you have to know and be so intimate with yourself that you know when it's time to stay, you know when it's time to go, you know when it's time to speak, you know when it's time to shut up. You know, you just have to settle into yourself and don't be afraid of what you see, because you are perfect for whatever it is your assignment is. You're perfect for that. And if you ever feel incongruent, it's because you're probably doing something that somebody else told you to do. You're probably doing something that was someone else's suggestion. Is it what you want, though? And the only way to realize what you truly want is to truly be who you are. Because if you're too busy being what everybody else wants you to be and who everybody else wants you to be, then you're making decisions based on what they want. And that's why things don't, you get exactly what you want and you don't like it, it's because you probably based that decision off what someone else thought was right for you. Be you. Be you. It is enough. It is the only thing that will ever be enough. It's just being you. Yes, sis. Thank you for letting me get that out, because that felt really good. Really good.
I can't even say nothing really, but I thank God for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because for the last couple weeks, me and you have been working together,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been sharing some intimate things with you.
Mm-hmm.
And to be able to release today
Mm-hmm.
means the world to me.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for being vulnerable. I thank you for releasing. I
Mm-hmm.
thank you for realizing your power. I
Yes,
thank
ma'am.
you for stepping out on faith. I thank
Mm-hmm.
you for trusting your process. I thank you for not giving up.
Yes.
Thank you for sparing your life. I thank you. Oh
Mm-hmm.
my God. When I tell you, you bless me, you bless my viewers on so
And,
many different levels, because in this society, we are
right.
going through so much as a nation.
Right.
We are going through because it is so much that has been taking place years for years. But
Right.
to rise up to the cause, may God continue to bless you. May
Thank you.
God continue to just enlarge your whole entire territory. May God just pour out all the blessings that He has for you. When I say I thank God for our connection, I thank God to be your colleague. I thank God
Yes.
to be your friend. I thank
Mm-hmm.
God to be your sister. But
Yes.
most importantly, thank you for being my coach. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you for being what I need in this season. See, the
Yes.
thing is, you might be going through, but it's not the end. You go
Yes.
through to learn. You're going through to get whatever God has for you. And I love what you said. I'm
Mm-hmm.
being me. I'm being happy for me.
Yep.
I am embracing me. And the thing is, you know
Oh,
God
oh
yourself,
yeah.
and you know that He's in you,
Oh
and
yeah.
He's giving you power, and He's
Mhm.
giving you authority. So continue to be who you are, Carrie. So I
Oh
thank
yes. Yes. And when you get to the point where you can't be anything else, when you realize how beautiful you truly are, I'm like, God don't make no mistakes. God is perfect. He has a strategy for everything. He figured out the end before it even began. I'm in taken care of. And if I truly trust that, that's nothing that can come up for me that is going to haunt me
you. Mhm.
because I know what I'm working with. And I'm working with some God stuff in here. And if he for me, who? Who? Who can be against me? Because they can be, but no weapon.
Formed against
You know
me
what I'm saying?
prosper.
And it's that is that, and that's not cockiness. That is faith.
Faith and facts.
There you go. Yes, indeed. Because I believe, and ain't nobody can shake
Listen, to all my viewers, I will not be jealous if you decide to work with Coach Carrie.
that.
She bring creativity. That's something that I don't. I bring out what's inside of you
Hmm.
from the spiritual aspect, but this together, us together is powerful.
Oh yeah.
But you gotta know if you have a business idea, if you're trying to birth something, talk to Coach Carrie.
Mm.
She will help you because it's already in you, but
Yeah.
you need that coach to push it out you.
Hmm.
You are the leader, but she will follow, but she'll give you some great ideas. So I need y'all to know this is my coach. This is my creative person behind the things that's coming for Driven by Purpose. And
Yes.
so
Yeah.
Coach Carrie, and I'm still trying to get it all together, but I want to make sure you got everything out because again, I thank
Uh,
you for being transparent and just for being who you are.
mhm.
And so is there anything else you want to tell our viewers before we go?
Well, the only thing I want to say is one thing I always say, just make sure you're being your own kind of beautiful. Just like I have many shades, so does beauty. And that's what makes us all so beautiful and so unique. Think about like your favorite dessert, right? Mine is red velvet cake. I absolutely love red velvet cake. But would I want to eat red velvet cake every single day for the rest of my life? No, because before long, I'm not gonna like red velvet cake anymore. And that's how we should look at each other. Like you, I'm red velvet. You pound cake. You lemon meringue. You pound cake with a little lemon glaze on it. Like we all have our own little quirky flavor. We all have our own swag. We all have our own unique gifts and purposes and paths. And so not only don't compare yourself to others, but don't knock yours. You're like, well, I just got this. Girl, no, you got that.
Yeah.
That's yours. Work that thing. Because I'm telling you, once you really come into the groove of being who you are, those little things that you thought were little will touch the entire world. It is in you. Whatever it is, just work that thing.
Just work that
Just
thing.
work that thing.
Hey, be kind you or be your kind. What did you say?
Be your own kind of beautiful.
Your own kind of beautiful.
Hmm.
Coach Carrie,
Yes.
I thank you.
I thank you too so much for just creating a space where I could share. Creating a space where it's okay to be vulnerable because we need more of this. We need more spaces to where if you don't want to say anything, you're not pressured to. But if you want to lay it all on the line, we'll help you set it out and put it out there. Like, I love this. I love Driven. I love your purpose and your passion. And I'm proud of you. And I admire you as well. Like, so, I mean, this and everything that you do, hey, keep being your own kind of beautiful.
Thank you so very much. So again, from us, my staff, from just people around the world that are driven by their purpose, like
Mhm.
thank you for coming to share your story. And so I'm glad that you said this is a place for people to be vulnerable and to
Yeah,
express who they are the way they want to in the
absolutely.
fashion that they can.
Mhm.
So Guys, we have this show every week. If you want to be a part of our show, just let us know. And Coach Carrie, consider yourself driven. And thank you again for being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care. We love you.